By God Almighty, it's begun. We're live.
And born and goodies to all of you Ramble maniacs and all of you BC aliens out there. For it does go a little something like this. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, the Ramblemania show proudly brings to you, I'm your former 14-time Ramblemania heavyweight champion, your former inaugural heavyweight and tag team champion, your then now forever Ramblemania hardcore champion. I'm your villainous live man, Hazel the iZombie. Join along with me as always.
It is I, your longest reigning Ramblemania tag team champion, your former 16-time Ramblemania champion of all thine cosmos, TJ the Great. TJ the Great.
This is our All Elite Wrestling Wrestle Dream 2024 review here live on the Ramblemania show. For we will rapid fire the 0 hour, but not only that, give every single detail on every match that took place on the main card here on the show. It took place in Tacoma, Washington, in the Tacoma Dome with an attendance of 8,045 people in attendance.
My bad. We just hit a homer.
Oh, they did?
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
But it's fine. Right, well, 4-1. 4-1.
Well, as you all may know, we all saw the pay-per-view. We were stunned. We were shocked. We were surprised. We were happy with some of the outcomes that took place here, but this had to be the final countdown for Bryan Danielson's professional wrestling career overall, as he was defeated by Jon Moxley to become the first ever 4-time All Elite Wrestling World Champion, ending the career of the American Dragon in his home state.
Well, let's not say ended his career, ended his full-time career.
His full-time status with AEW has come to a close. But again, when we talk more about that main event later, we're going to explain why we say his full-time career in All Elite Wrestling is done and how the part-time position is going to commence going forward once he comes back 100% healthy, cleared, not having to deal with any injuries or any surgeries going forward once he makes his part-time return. But we are going to talk about every single other match that took place before we get to that main event. We will sit here and rapid fire the 4 matches that took place here live on the 0 hour, starting with the Ring of Honor World Television Championship being on the line as the champion Atlantis Jr. took on Brian Cage.
Oh, what are we doing? 0 hour? Are we doing 0 hour?
Yeah, we're rapid like we do. We just rapid fire this before we get to the main card.
Oh, 0 hour was cool.
I mean, yeah, but match was 11 minutes, so go ahead, just give your thoughts on this and grade before we get to the next one.
0 hour. It was actually, this was probably one of the better 0 hour matches we've seen in a while. And Brian Cage is actually usually very, very good for matches like that, like early on in the show or a 0 hour type thing. Put on Brian Cage early in the night and he'll fucking fire the crowd up and do some really cool shit and get them going for a solid match. So, I mean, yeah, we needed to properly transition the TV title, and Brian Cage is a guy that usually will pop up on Ring of Honor TV here and there on lower end AEW TV. So he's a perfect guy for it. I think it works. And again, like I said, we talk about a TV title. We talk about a TV ready wrestler. Brian Cage is consistently proven himself to be one of the better ones in the company. So yeah, I thought this was a solid match. Very good way to transition the title to Cage. I'm on that. I'll give it a good.
And no, Johnny, you do not deserve your 3 hour Raw bag. Like, nobody
You're getting it back
that.
in fucking January. Enough.
Yeah, accept that. Just accept it. You're getting it back in January. Just
watch
it go.
This fucking shitty 2 hour show, and then you'll get the shitty 3 hour show back in January.
What are you mad that I'm
over this bit? I'm over this.
Mad that I'm not live for Raw. Is that what it is? Because we're talking about something else that's relevant besides 2 hours of Raw.
I am over this. I love 3-hour Raw bit. I'm over it. You'll get the stupid fucking 3 hours back.
What did you grade this again?
A good.
I will give this a good. This is pretty good. Again, I don't want to shut on Atlantis because I didn't really see the guy really compete that much. And when he did compete, it was either proving ground matches or they had him in like tag matches. He only had like maybe one title defense on Honor Club, and one title defense. It means a lot to other people, but not to me because I kind of wanted to see more. And I always questioned, like, why do we actually give this man the belt? Why? For the partnership with CMLO to actually be true? Yeah, cool. We did it. Now, it's like, here's a guy that we actually see on Ring of Honor every now and then. We could have a guy like Brian Cage go on Ring of Honor, defend that fucking belt every week if he wants to, or he could defend it on Rampage if that's the case as well. Let's utilize this belt more. Like, this belt's supposed to be defended every week on television, right? So I think it's time that we start utilizing that gimmick more for this belt. And I'm hoping that Brian Cage is that step to making this belt feel legitimate when we start bringing that gimmick back. I thought this match was actually fun, very exciting. Both of these men went all out here. I give it a good. Congrats to Cage on becoming the TV champion. His second second singles title since working with AEW. First one was the FTW one. So big stuff for Cage. Big stuff. And Jay will go one-on-one with Harley Cameron. This was 8 minutes and 20 seconds. Go ahead, CJ.
Yeah. Another quick little display for Anna returning from stardom and getting herself cooking again, and another one to serve the purpose of continuing to showcase Harley, continuing to show her off and get her working. Like there's a clear mission statement with like the lower level women of the division, like the Harley Camerons, to bring them up and get them working on the level with people like the Anna Jays and the Julia Harts and all that, and get them progressing, and again continue to grow the division and build it up. So yeah, for those purposes, like I thought this was a solid little fun match. So I give it a high, bad, little good.
I can honestly say that both of these women have been getting better, especially Harley. Like every week that I see her go in that ring and compete, she gets better. Whether she's learning and all that other shit, I don't know who's training her, and whoever's training her, good job.
Yeah.
My minor issue with the whole thing was there was a little bit of a wardrobe malfunction. Harley had to keep fixing her top a lot, and it's like maybe you should find your seamstress to get you a better top next time, because there was just a whole lot going on there. It was a little bit of a mild distraction, but too much for it to be on 0 hour. I still thought that like both women did what they did here was subpar. Not everyone was excited, but hey, you got women's wrestling in your shows, right? Now you can't complain that there's only one women's match. So I thought it was fun and enjoyable. Again, I have been enjoying Harley's progress because every week that we see her get in that ring, she gets better. And that's one thing that I've been wanting to see. I'm just kind of happy that someone else was not with her walking down the aisle. We need to get her off of that fucking outcast though, because this shit is just getting nowhere. Like, she'll be better off by herself. Solid goods. It was pretty good. Anna Jay did her thing too. I like her Joshi theme, even though people are saying it's not a Joshi theme. It is. It's what the Japanese girls would dance to. All right. The Acclaimed taking on the MXM collection, Mansoor and Mason Madden, with the All Elite Wrestling debut of Rico Constantino. This was 11 minutes and 25 seconds. Go ahead, TJ.
Yeah, this was fine. This was about the spot where this should have been. Like the idea of bringing back Rico because he has history with Billy and all that, and it fits with the MXM thing. Like, yeah, it's a funny little mid-card comedy type thing. I think it's a good spot for MXM. I actually think that they should have won. I do think that. I think that MXM should have won. But
I think so too.
yeah. Again, partially because I think the Acclaim is kind of stale. But like I do, see the point of the idea of, the Acclaim conquering them after they fuck with them, stole Max Jackson, did all the bullshit to them. So whatever. Again, it's a quick little comedy mid-card feud that both teams should hopefully grab a little bit of momentum off of and spin off into something else. But yeah, I give it a high bet.
You know how I gotta tell you that, because you said that the Acclaim was stale. You know how I gotta tell you that they were stale. Look at the position that they were in before. Look at how they were in a triple threat tag team championship match at Wembley to them being on the 0 hour for 2 pay-per-views.
I don't even think of it in those terms as in the positioning. Like, just in terms of where they are and how they've been presenting themselves lately, like, they come out and they still get pops and people still do the scissoring and all that. Like, people still enjoy that. But I'd like, never mind what they were doing at All In. Think of where they were like a year ago or 2 years ago. Like, they were near the top of the division. And now it feels like they don't really have a lot of upward mobility left. Like, with certain other teams, you could put them back in a race and get them hot and go for the tag titles or whatever type of thing you can do. But I don't really feel like that's there with the Acclaimed right now. It kind of feels like they've run their course. But again, I don't know. It just feels that way right now.
Yeah, I think it was like after the whole blood and guts thing. That's when like they started to, it started to go like not downhill, but it was literally like it was diminishing to the point where, like, again,
I think that's a part of it too. Like, they were a big part of the blood and guts feud, and the blood and guts build. The match was great, but the build this year was bad. It was really bad. So
again, it's just one of those where it's like, that prime example of not hyping up the show months beforehand. And, you do it like weeks before and not everybody knows what the fuck's going on. That's what it is. Like, it's one of those scenarios too. But honestly, like this match, like, I give these guys shit, but it's only because of their gimmick. But after, it's not even like, oh, Rico's there. I'm like, all right, I'm down with the gimmick now. I'm like, all right, it transitioned from that because maybe they needed that. And they needed something, they needed to even the playing field out in case Daddy Ass needed to get involved. And look at what happened. I don't have issues with this match. The rapping was great. The Diddy stuff, they were all honestly, this whole match was sus as fuck. That's all I'm going to say. It was entirely sus. The wrestlers were sus. The fans were sus. The commentary was sus. I had to get sus at some moments. Like, what the fuck? So yeah, honestly, this was probably one of the most entertaining matches that I ever got to enjoy. Besides the 8-man tag that we're going to talk about in a few seconds, I'm going to give this match a bars. This was fun. This was actually fun. And we ended with the conglomeration of Orange Cassidy and Kyle O'Reilly teaming up with the Outrunners, one of the most over tag teams now, taking on the Dark Order, Alex Reynolds and John Silver, with the premier athletes Arya Daivari and Tony Nese. This was 11 minutes and 30 seconds. Let's bring this 0 hour home so we get on the main card.
This felt Ring of Honor. Let's maybe get the fucking conglomeration of Ring of Honor. I don't know. Anything to get them away from the fucking Jericho vortex. But yeah, I had fun with this. Like, obviously, the conglomerators or I forgot what RJ City called them, but Excalibur and RJ City were having a fight about what to call the conglomeration and the Outrunners put together.
I think it was the Orange Runners.
Yeah, I think RJ was like the Orange Runners and Excalibur was like, no, it's the Conglomerators.
Well, I mean, do you not look at the Outrunners? Look at how orange they are. Like, my God, they're
they're 80s guys. So I get that. I get that. That understands. That tracks. So I mean, good fight between RJ City and Excalibur. That was truly the bigger fight of the whole situation. But the Outrunners, obviously they're rocking with them right now. They're a hot act. They're teaming with, basically, like, they're doing the thing where every fucking top babyface sort of teams with them because they're the hot act right now. So everybody's just getting a touch of the juice, and it's nice. It's nice. It's good for the Outrunners. It's good for the conglomeration. the premier athletes in the Dark Order were kind of all just like guys that were there. Like they were just opponents for these guys, more or less. Which is kind of why I said like I kind of would like to see something like this spun back in Ring of Honor, because I feel like in AEW it's only going to go so far because you got so much else going on in AEW. But in Ring of Honor, you could kind of give something like this some legs because there's a little more room to operate there.
Exactly.
But it was pretty fun for just a situation to get those guys rocking together, the conglomeration and the Outrunner. So yeah, I give it a high bet.
So I never really
Young Wolf for the building.
was never really that excited for this match. I mean, even like all of us, we all went to our shows. I went to the Collision and I told you how these guys got the biggest fucking pop in the whole building. Yeah. And then I don't know if y'all had the Outrunners in Queens. Did y'all have them?
We didn't get them.
Oh, that's crazy.
Yeah, we didn't get them.
Damn, that sucks. I would have figured y'all would have had them on the show because, like when I told y'all that pop was loud, like that pop was more louder than when we had the Bunkhouse Brawl open the show. Like these niggas was so fucking over. And here they proved it as well. I was just like, you know what? Maybe there's something that Tony Khan sees in them. I mean, they're way more over than the Iron Savages, and the Iron Savages are basically doing their gimmick just without the weightlifting. They're just talking about titties.
Yeah. Oh, to be fair, the Iron Savages are heels right now.
They are heels, but it's like, we watch Ring of Honor. Do we really ever see them get like a boo pop or like a yeah? Like it's usually like crickets or mild pop.
Yeah, honestly, they were more over as faces, the Iron Savages. Exactly. They're less over as heels because they don't get the boos to the same level they used to get cheered. They used to get like pretty decent pops.
Exactly. And it always weirded me out how Tony Khan reversed that whole shit, and it's just I don't give a fuck about Truth beating the Miz. I give a fuck about the Outrunners and Orange Cassidy and Kyle O'Reilly beating up guys that frankly, now at this point, I can't even give a fuck about anymore. I can't. I don't have a care in the world for Tony Nese. I am done with Arya Daivari. Bring back the real Daivari. That nigga's over than you. All right. That's
what I'm saying.
At this point, Swartberg's the only one doing all the work. This nigga's the only one kicking more ass than these motherfuckers. Josh Woods is just standing there menacingly like he always does. Evil Uno, put that nigga in the fucking game already. God damn. Jesus Christ. I'm going to give this match a bad because honestly, I only give a fuck about the baby faces. I didn't give a fuck about anyone else here because I'm not interested in the premier athletes. These are just Job Squad 97. No. So, yeah. Now that we're done with the 0 hour, we will officially commence with, the main card take place. For those of you who are new here watching the Ramblemania show, we rate these the way we usually rate all of our pay-per-view shows. 1 is a who booked the shit. 2 is a bad. 3 is a solid goods. 4 is a bars. 5 is a GOAT. 6 and up is whatever the hell we want to call it at this point. And then for the matches that we don't care about, it either gets a now or a Ryback skip. Before we even start with the main card, don't even tell me what match it is. How many GOATs are we looking at here?
No GOATs, actually. No GOATs.
Are you serious?
No GOATs.
Wow. Okay.
We come close a few times, but no GOATs.
Okay. I only got maybe 1. Just 1. But yeah, submitted to the approval of the Ramblemania show. This is the final countdown of Bryan Danielson. Without further ado, it is now time to commence the rambling, where we open up the show officially with Jay White taking on Hangman Adam Page in a singles match. The match was 16 minutes and 20 seconds. TJ, commence with the Ramble while I watch the baseball.
And we locked in still. We still love money. We just got struck out, but it's all good.
I know, but I
So
need to
yeah,
get away
hanger and
from Wiki.
switch. Yeah, hanger and switch. A very good detail-oriented match that did a really good job with a dynamic that we're not fully used to, which is babyface Jay White and heel Hangman Page. Which special shout outs to Jay White for being a babyface, but not forgetting that he was a heel and fucking. A lot of times babyfaces turn heel. I mean, babyface turn heel. Heels turn babyface, and they sort of like forget the things that made them work as heels. Like, yes, obviously you're not gonna cheat anymore and shit like that, but you still know that you should still know the tricks, right? You were just doing it in your last match before this. So just because you're getting cheered now, you shouldn't stop. And that's how Jay White worked this match. He knew all the heel tricks, and that made him ready for whenever Hangman tried the heel tricks. Hangman tried to go low on him in the end, and Jay White was ready and countered it. And in general, he just worked great here, where he had a clear focus and a strategy, and it paid off in the end to where you get a good definitive finish between two top-level guys that doesn't negatively affect anyone. Like, Switchblade out-wrestled and outwitted Hangman, and Hangman's hubris continues to consume him in these big situations. So, yeah, I thought this match was excellent fucking storytelling. These two be cooking all the time, like Young Wolf just said. Yes. So I'm giving it a bars off the rip.
Honestly, yes. Yes, the win streak is 4-2 against Hangman, but I only remember their first encounter because this is what that match technically reminded me of. Strong Style Evolved 2017 or 2018. I remember Jay White was the U.S. champion and Hangman Adam Page was still in Bullet Club at the time. Jay White was in Chaos, and they had that match taking place in the U.S., and that match was absolutely spectacular for both competitors. It put them both on the map. It put Hangman on the map after, like, Jay White was already put on the map after he beat Kenny for that belt. So I think when I see the match that they had, the opener, it just gave me back those flashbacks because there were some moves there that they did that they were doing on the outside. Now, yeah, like you said, even though Jay White was basically coming in as the babyface, he still had to know what he was doing, basically still play the heel role because he knew that there was going to be some tricks being played on him as well. So he figured, might as well just go the cheap route, go after the leg, chop block it, use that as an advantage because guess what? Hangman flips over to do a buckshot. That's going to tweak his shit even more. And look at what happened. It didn't really attempt to tweak during the move, but once he hesitated a bit and then he did the flip and then it countered into the Blade Runner, which, by the way, one of the sickest counters I've ever seen in professional wrestling. Good shit to pull that off. That was pure perfection. Perfect ending too. My God, that got a big pop. I thought to myself, maybe this was just the one and done and we were just going to focus on other shit with Hangman. But no, I feel like now we're going to be continuing this going forward until there's a solution and either Hangman's going to kill them or Switchblade is just going to outsmart this man once again, just like he did here. Yeah, this was one of those matches that it was a pretty big, tough decision for some of us to pick. A lot of us went for the hanger and a lot went for Jay White. It was kind of an even playing field, but we had to also understand that, like, Jay White was coming back from injury. Hangman just came off of a big win from Swerve in that Lights Out Steel Cage match. So it was really like, who was going to get the win overall and who was going to get hurt from this match? And we got a winner, but even if it was a clean win, it still felt like a protective clean win. Like nobody got diminished. Like Hangman still felt strong going forward because look at how pissed off he was. Look at how enraged he was going to be. You know, this man still thinks he walks down this righteous path. You know, that's his vision. That's his vision of delusions of grandeur. This is what I've been telling you. He's on that unhinged level, bro. And it's only a matter of time before he's going to snap again.
Oh yeah, it's like I said, I don't think he thinks he's on the righteous path anymore. I think he's accepted that he's the monster now. He comes out the heel tunnel and everything.
No, but the commentators have been saying that as well. Yeah, that like even if he's coming out the heel tunnel, like, you know, that monster is like basically saying, yo, that's his righteous path. Like He thinks that what he's doing is not wrong. This is the monster that we're talking about, right?
Yeah, I think he thinks
it's not wrong.
Yeah, I think he thinks his ultimate purpose is righteous, but I think he fully acknowledges that in trying to get to that purpose, he has strayed off the path and has gone too far. I think he acknowledges that now.
Maybe we should put him with the righteous. Maybe he should put them down a narrow fucking path. And the path
Look
that he's going.
Look at the tongue.
Look at the fucking tongue.
You heard, Hangman?
Oh my God, that match is getting a bars. By the way,
look at the tongue! Look at the tongue! Look at the tongue!
They need Lance's with Don now.
Solid bars. Oh my God, very, very awesome way to open the fucking show. Holy shit! Yeah. For the AEW Women's World Championship, Mariah May defends her title against Willow Nightingale. The match was 10 minutes and 50 seconds. Go ahead.
I thought it would have been. Well, let me get to the chat real quick. Young Wolf said, TK, you really gonna book Leo and Shelton or Dynamite? I know, it's crazy. It's a lot going on, Young Wolf. I understand you got to parse it out. Johnny said, Jay said no. He'll say yes next week or whatever. And yeah, Young Wolf putting over Jay White as he is wont to do. But Mariah and Willow, I think Willow has got a strong case for best babyface in the game. And it's definitely something that, Mariah could have used to keep the heat on her as we go forward and continue to build contenders throughout the division. Mariah is always super physical and snug and makes her opponents rise to that standard. And Willow needs no prodding to get to that standard. So this clicked pretty quickly. And that's why I'm saying I'm surprised it felt like 10 minutes, because they just got in there and kind of just started going and it clicked and it worked. To where I thought this was definitely the best of Mariah's defenses so far. And she's had some pretty good matches against some pretty good talent. But yeah, I think this has been top of the top for her thus far. And just further proof that not only does Mariah May obviously have the goods, but Willow Nightingale, again, I think in terms of the women's division, she is the top babyface. And just in general, one of the best baby faces, if not the best baby face in the whole damn company. So, yes. Yeah, I'm going to give this the highest of goods, 3 3/4.
Despite that, now this is not a negative thing. Don't get it twisted now. Despite the fact that Mariah May's title reign has been a little bit mild, a little cold, this match here kind of basically brought that shit back to its roots once again. Like, yeah, this reign, not even the reign. This angle was just something out of random, because originally I think it was supposed to be Britt Baker going one-on-one with Mariah, but then originally we were supposed to have Willow take on Britt, but then
I genuinely do not think so. I genuinely do not think that Britt was ever going to get this match.
I'm just saying, this is my opinion. I'm not saying Willow was like never going to get this opportunity. I would have just figured maybe they would have just I was thinking maybe triple threat, but the whole thing with Britt having health issues and then adding it to a fatal 4-way, I knew right then and there, yeah, I think it's time for them to actually give Willow her time to shine. Because what the hell? We've been, not even that we've been sleeping on her, we've been giving her all these opportunities and shit. She's been TBS champion, New Japan Strong Women's champion, the CMLL Women's World champion, and she's been making an awesome killing. Why not give her this title shot and have her go out there and put on a spectacular match with Mariah, which she actually did. This match was great. It started off slow, which I'm not hating. I like when they start off a bit slow, because that's how you build a story. You got to be psychological in the ring and shit. You got to pace out your move sets. And I saw this thinking to myself, all right, this is not about an angle. This is just about a wrestling match. And this is also, a rematch from the finals in the Owen Hart tournament. People are thinking, all right, Willow could probably get her win back. And Six was probably thinking that same way as well. But we all saw the outcome. I'm not hating because guess what? Again, this brought back the title reign to its full extinction. Mariah May is now back on top like she should be. And we now could start building more angles with her going forward. I don't know who she's going to be feuding with next, but hopefully it's a good one. This match was actually super fun. Super fucking fun. And for both of these women getting this spot, Willow getting this spot, she rightfully earned it. Win, lose, or draw, they both get their flowers here. I'm also giving this match a bars. This was really fun.
Yeah.
Next match we had Jack Perry defending his AEW TNT Championship against the wrestler Katsuyori Shibata. This match was 9 minutes and 20 seconds. Go ahead, TJ, ramble on.
All right. So the story is set here on Dynamite in that Jack asked Shibata to bring the wrestler who nearly died in the ring fighting Okada in 2018. He wanted that. He wanted that Shibata. And as he often does, that's his character, Jack bit off a little bit more than he can chew. And Shibata took everything he had and ate that shit and quickly turned things in his favor and gave Jack the business. That's what happened in this match. Shibata took most of it, whooped Jack Perry's ass. And with that story in play, it's obvious that the only way Jack is getting out with the title is if he cheats or he ekes out a win. And they go with the latter, with Shibata essentially locking in the sleeper and Jack being able to lean back into a cover when he's grapevine. And yeah, I see the vision. You got a young, cocky wrestler who escaped from a vet who got a little bit, too careless. But I personally feel like it leans more into the unfortunate trope of veteran wrestlers making rookie mistakes, which I never really like, especially because AEW is absolutely not a company above doing a run-in or some other schmozziness. Like,
yes, they're not.
So what's one more run-in from the guy whose group is known for doing run-ins? But whatever. In fairness, they did design with the dissenter in mind, I guess, because it's clearly meant to be more or less forgotten following what happens after, which is the major returns of MJF and Adam Cole and setting up the situation with Daniel Garcia. Like, all right, we had this situation, but now we have like 3 more challengers in tow for the title. So, in the larger picture, I see the vision and I respect it and I even like it. But in the vacuum, got to ding it a little just because of that. But I'm going to give it a good overall because I did think the overall match up to that finish was good, but the finish put me off.
So I have a confession to make.
Okay.
You're not going to like what I'm going to say.
Okay.
This was a TV match that shouldn't be on this show. Only because of everything else that overshadowed it. Daniel Garcia making his return. Well, not even. Showing up, going after Jack Perry, because, yeah, that's going to be the next opponent. All right, cool. But now MJF, after doing Happy Gilmore 2 with Adam Sandler and stuff, and apparently he showed up, did his thing, and then stayed for the show, left to go do more filming. Very committing for him to do that. Did his stuff with Daniel, thinking to ourselves, oh, man, we're going to run this back again. I thought we were done. And then, it's all about the pool. And I'm like, what? Huh? And I'm like, wait, where's your Undisputed Kingdom shirt? And then I'm like, he's not wearing it. So is this just him being himself now? Like, he don't got the goons with him no more. No more devil. No more this bullshit.
The devil.
I guess it's all been scrapped because he's back to his regular old self again. And holy shit.
More or less back to his regular self before. I don't think they scrapped everything. Like, they're still going to feud Max and Cole, clearly. I just think.
No. I'm talking about the Max and Cole stuff. That's still going to be the feud. I'm talking about him with the Kingdom, the devil stuff. Is that going to be scrapped?
Well, yeah, like they kind of scrapped the whole devil thing way earlier. Like him in the Kingdom, yeah, they might have scrapped that on the side, but yeah, otherwise it was gonna all change anyway because the dynamics are flipped now. Cole's a face again and Max is a heel, which is not how they left it before, but it is what it is.
It was the other way around. Max was the baby face, Adam Cole was the heel with the stupid unveiling of the devil shit. Yeah. We could honestly say Adam Cole's injuries kind of delayed a bunch of stories that could have come to fruition if he didn't suffer that ankle injury in Queens years ago. If none of that didn't happen, then maybe we would have continued with this whole shit and we would have never been holding on to this story for another year.
Well, no, for sure we would have. Like, if Cole would have never got injured, we probably would have been done with the story already. Like, they would have done whatever they were going to do at Wrestle Dream and then probably would have moved from there. Like, we'd probably be on some other shit with both of them.
It probably would have been done. Like, honestly, I think it was supposed to be Cole to beat MJF at World's End, but then, all the bullshit happened.
Maybe. Again, yeah, it's definitely possible. But, like, yeah, for sure. Cole, and it's like I've said every time we talked about this, Cole getting injured threw that whole thing off. And then they've spent the entire time since then trying to sort of piece it together when they can, but they haven't really been able to because Cole's been out. But now he's back. So,
yeah. All right. But about the match, though, Shibata came in here looking to murder someone, and he kind of did. And again, I'm going to agree with you on this because this has always been a pet peeve of mine. I don't really talk about it a lot, but I hate when you got niggas that have so much experience. I understand that this shit is predetermined. Everyone knows what the fuck they need to do. But come on now. As a professional wrestler, I would be the smart person and be like, can we do a different finish than that one? Because that just makes me look stupid as a 25-year veteran. The man that almost got himself killed by headbutting Okada? Oh, no, I got to lose like this? Come on now. I mean, it gets up bad. I mean, look, I'm happy for Shibata to be on pay-per-view, but I'm just not happy with this match with the ending result. The match was still good because I got to see a lot of murder that, Jack Perry got what he deserved. But to go out like that, Shibata, come on. That's fifth grade shit. We can't be thinking like that. We cannot. So yeah, it gets. I'll give it a 2.5. I'll be fair and give it a 2.5. Fair. Now, before we talk about the triple threat, we'll talk about Swerve's return.
Yeah, I guess I suppose we can talk about Swerve's return and essentially what it means for the larger picture. Oh, Stanton just blasted that shit. All right, 5-1 Yankees. All right, Swerve Strickland is back looking jacked as hell. Shout out to him, taking again in every single element of it, taking that I want to be the guy, I want to be the top superstar in the company thing very seriously.
God damn, Stanton. Holy shit.
He blasted that. And very, very, very solid segment, I thought, setting the table with MVP and Shelton and Swerve. Swerve doing a great job of setting it up and making you, wonder. Like, he said, I did lose the title now under your watch. I did have all these things happen to me under your watch, but you're family. And I don't turn my back on family. So again, cements what I like I said when we were watching it, what I wanted, which was I want the Hurt Syndicate to come in and be strong. I want MVP and Shelton and Lashley when he's coming. Like I want all those guys to get together and be strong. But I also want on the other side of it, Nana and Swerve. And if other people wouldn't get involved, you got EJ and Duka in there. So why not get him involved if you want to one day? Just I want to see two strong factions standing off with each other. So I like what this set up. I like how this went. Again, Swerve and Shelton as a match, I'm with. And the potential, obviously, that we're all waiting for of Swerve and Lashley. I'm down for that too.
So I was kind of disappointed with the fact that there was no Lashley showing up, but then I kind of understood the reason why without having to look at other sources and shit. There's a lot of people that just made their fucking returns and shit, and you don't want to bring in someone making their debut being lost in the fucking shuffle.
Yeah.
So I fully understand them doing what they had to do and pulling back the Lashley debut, but who knows? That could be this Wednesday or it could be Friday, it could be Saturday. Who knows? But just know that Lashley's already all elite. They all signed on the dotted line. He, MVP, Shelton, they are all elite at this moment. All right. So, I'm gonna sit back. I'm gonna wait and see how they're gonna play this out, because finally we're doing something fresh with Swerve, getting him with some history with some people that he knows, especially MVP, since he and them have history. They've wrestled each other a few years back in Defy, since they brought that up, since that's a Washington promotion over there.
Yeah.
I have a feeling that, like you said, we bring in EJ Duca, get a helping hand for Swerve. Maybe we get one more helping hand for Swerve indeed, and that be a returning Keith Lee, if he ever does come back from his health conditions and shit. If he's 100% healthy and good to go, let's bring him back. Let's bring back that former tag team. Not saying we should start another another Swerve mogul faction, but just something for Swerve to have for the time being to feud against the Hurt Syndicate, since we now know they're going to be going after him and Nana. And I do believe that Nana is about to be taking some damage going forward, since he went on, since he got in MVP's face that one time and said, I used to wrestle and I will take you on in the ring. And I'm like, oh, let's go. Let's go. Just, can I have your coffee though?
Oh my God.
It gotta be in Keurig cups. That's all that matters to me. Like shit. All right. The triple threat AEW International Championship match. Konosuke Takeshita, Will Ospreay, Ricochet. This was 20 minutes and 45 seconds. Go ahead, TJ. Ramble on.
Bruh. A ridiculous three-way that took the crowd to probably their biggest non-dragon highs of the night. Ospreay and Rico naturally do their thing of ungodly athleticism, but Takeshita as fucking the imposing stopper, that dude was incredible in this match. Ospreay and Rico, they took several opportunities to jump him, and it did a great job. They did a great job in never making them look like bad guys for it, because at first, well, of course they're jumping him. He interfered in their match. They got beef with this nigga. Yeah, they're going to jump him. But then later on, they're jumping him out of necessity. They need to keep jumping him because he keeps dominating the match. And even when they jump him, he still comes back and throws monster forearms and lariats as if to say, get the fuck off me. Nothing you do is enough. You can't stop me. Like the double poison Rana, double German suplex spot, that's the exact type of think piece generating shit that fuels my love for this great sport. Motherfuckers are going to go on the internet and cry and write fucking dissertations about where the business is and what the business needs to be. Fuck all that shit. When I see that crazy flippy shit, I'm like, hell yeah. Give me more of that. Give me all of that. I need that. Shit, nigga. You want it? When I see flips, I'm like, what is you talking about?
Oh shit.
Unbelievable type shit. Unbelievable. But yeah, like then you come down to the nitty-gritty in the finish, and the Kyle turn, like I said, is one I don't necessarily agree with in the moment, because I thought they were building great legs for Kyle Fletcher as an up-and-coming babyface, and they do need some more of those, you know what I'm saying? But clearly AEW is an evil company now. Clearly AEW is fucking the company for villains. So I'll let them cook. I want everybody to be fucking evil and murderers and monsters, and everyone betrays their friends, and this is a company of darkness. Then okay, fine. I'll keep watching. So, yeah.
Wait. Just for one time. Yes, the truth has been unveiled. All Elite Wrestling is an evil company. Run for your lives.
Bison was watching this pay-per-view like, yes, I love this. So much evil. Tony Khan is driven by psycho power. Clearly. So yeah, man. Bars and a half. Incredible fucking match. Incredible match.
Oh shit. First of all, I'm just gonna give the grade now. 5.25. This is the GOAT. This is it right here. I mean, never in a million years have I ever screamed so loud during a match that my wife would actually yell back in the background, "Hazel, shut the fuck up." All because this match was just filled with excitement. It was just spots galore, murderous intent to be made, and betrayal. So much of the betrayal. I mean, it's moments like this where I just tell myself it's necessary for this shit to take place. Because one, Mark Davis is still not cleared to even, be back for AEW. So we don't even know when that's going to be the possibility. Also, it's that one scenario. It's like, do we really want the United Empire in AEW when we already have that in New Japan? I like 3. They want the story to be Don Callis betraying Will Ospreay, putting the hit out, letting him know. Like, remember, I told you the first time that that let this nigga go. Like, yeah, we let you go, but remember that time? Like, I even told you, bro, it's only a matter of time before they actually do that turn. And they waited for the right opportunity. It's the tag team. This nigga didn't want his partner to kill people, so something needed to happen, and that's when we had the 5th anniversary show, and Kenosuke showed up after we got 5 more minutes, and then the DQ. Then the match had to be this way, and honestly, if they were never gonna give this belt to Kenosuke, the only other option was him winning the C2 against Okada.
Yeah.
And we were saying that. Like, that could be the possibility if, and only if, Kenosuke does not win here. And I need to remind you, Young Wolf was the only one that went for Kenosuke here to win. Nobody went for Ricochet. Everybody else went for Ospreay. So, not saying that, nobody believes in Ricochet. It's just, he's still new in this company. It's too hot from the beginning, this type of win that quickly. But he still did his thing. The match, again, those double Sasuke specials onto Kenosuke, and he caught both of them. And it's like, dude, he's not human. He's in his own, he's on a whole nother level. This man. Forearms killing both of these men one by one. I remember this one double team that they did. It was like fucking Hurricanrana transitioned into a Styles Clash. And it's just like, holy shit.
Fire.
The near falls. The near falls here. Everybody had NXT face. Don Callis had NXT face. We even had the NXT face. Our reactions.
I never even worked there.
Like, I've worked in the World Wrestling Federation. What's that E thing stand for? Entertainment? That's bullshit.
True.
Look, I think this match exceeded all expectations. This match stole the show. This match is like another match of the year caliber right here. Not just for Ospreay, not just for Ricochet, but for Kenosuke as well. Because finally pull the trigger on this man, and we give him the international title. And now he can look strong with Don Callis carrying this man on his back with that title, along with Lance Archer and Will Hobbs if he makes his return. So Don Callis is looking pretty sweet right now, knowing that his top boy is now the international champion due to the hands of Kyle Fletcher. I guess he had, I don't know what convinced this man to go out there and grab the rusty screwdriver and stab his best friend in the back of the head. First of all, I don't even know why Ospreay was not bleeding in the back of the head there. Fucking hell. But whatever.
The wound was emotional.
But it looks like they're going to be setting up for Ospreay versus Kyle Fletcher for Full Gear. And I think that might just be the one and done, because it looks like they're the whole purpose is fighting just to get to Don Callis now. or get back to the catching up with the international title.
Mm.
So I'm pretty excited to see what's coming up next when we watch Wednesday. I'm pretty excited. But yeah, this match is getting a fucking 5.25. Fucking great fucking match. Best match of the night, bro. Holy shit. This was awesome. And now it is the 2 out of 3 falls match. The Beast Mortos takes on the holographic trading card. It was 16 minutes and 40 seconds. They don't even tell me the fucking falls here. What's the please? But yeah, go ahead, CJ Ramble on.
Yes. You're curious. Hologram got the first fall. Mortos got the second. Hologram got the third. But
I wanted the times. I know who had the falls. I just needed the times.
Yeah. But yes. Young Wolf says, no disrespect to Ibushi. I love Ibushi, but we got our new favorite murderer. That's right, and he works for me. I taught him how to murder.
Oh, trust me, when Ibushi makes his return, you're going to be falling in love with him again when he actually goes and murders Konosuke.
We will not allow that. We will kill him just like we killed Kenny Omega.
Oh, yeah. Reminder, Ibushi doesn't forget. You killed his boyfriend.
That's right, and I will kill him too. But anyway, regardless, Hologram and the Beast Mortos, Frank Mortos, attorney at law. WCW 96 special in the absolute best way. Hologram has been building a feud with the newly reformed LFI on TV, and the Beast Mortos, for my money, straight up one of the most entertaining wrestlers to watch right now. I love watching the Beast Mortos. You put the Beast Mortos on a show, I am there. I am seated. I am watching.
If y'all not have been watching this man since TNA, what the fuck have y'all been living under? Dwayne Johnson?
All the way back to a prior dimension where the man was called Black Taurus, but now we got the Beast Mortos and he is rocking.
The Beast Mortos.
Yes. These dudes went out and just had a great Lucha Libre affair, which admittedly it took the crowd a minute to get warmed up to, because look what it just followed. They had to follow Ospreay and Takeshita and Ricochet. But by the second fall, they had them going. They had them cooking. Like Hologram hit that fucking crazy crucifix bomb and boom. Crowd was like, all right, we're in. And again, like I said, when we watched the pay-per-view, this served the nice purpose of Mortos technically getting a W over Hologram because he did pin him, and that will continue the feud most likely. But we keep Hologram undefeated because I imagine there's a bigger purpose for him in his undefeated streak right now. So I'm giving this a bars. Like, again, like I said at the top, WCW 96 special in that you just take two luchadors who have kind of been, rocking back and forth on your TV for a bit, throwing them in a big showcase style match on pay-per-view and letting them cook. Like WCW was great for that back in the day, and this reminded me of that in the best way. So bars.
Even though this was an out of nowhere match, I think wrestling-wise, this was a great match. Business-wise, it was outstanding because officially they are now going to be working with Fox Sports Latin America to be putting out AEW shows on their channels going forward. And I think they're going to be doing this shit globally. This was the perfect move for them to actually do this in response to the fact that, hey, AEW may be in Fox Sports Latin America, but just you wait. We're going to be hitting North America soon. When we hit Shockwave, I'm not really gonna, hate the fact that they did this move for a valid purpose. It helps the Latino demographic. It gets their viewership up, and they like some of these guys because they've seen them in AAA. Like everybody knows who the fuck Hologram is under that mask. Everybody knows that because they watch AAA. They've seen some of his movesets. They all know how he moves in that ring. So yeah, good move AEW for doing shit like that. That type of crossover. You got to do more of those. But this match, though, holy fucking hell. Lucha shit. So much lucha shit. There was flips. There was dives. I couldn't even tell whether or not one of them was going to die. Oh, man. This match was I've been saying fun a lot, but it is. This match was just fucking fun. The crowd was excited. I mean, I was excited. And also, another way for Tony Khan to bring back tradition in professional wrestling. 2 out of 3 falls are a staple in Lucha Libre.
Yeah.
So
it's a classic Lucha Libre staple.
So nice touch, Tony, for actually introducing this to the North American audience that, hey, this gimmick is a main staple in Mexico. And they do this, to test endurance, to test out stamina. And, these guys are high flyers too. So they get all the time in the world to do all this stuff, especially with 3 pinfalls in one match. So, yeah, fun match, exciting. New way to introduce the audience to something new to Lucha Libre. And new way to get to the Latin demographic. This is getting a bars.
Yes. Exactly like Young Wolf said. How you follow an insane murder flippy match with another super flippy murdery lucha match?
Yeah, that's it. Darby Allin takes on Brody King. The match was 12 minutes and 20 seconds. Go ahead, CJ Rumble on.
Okay. Stop me if you've heard this one before. Darby Allin faces a big mean dude.
Stop.
Gets yes.
All you had to do was say big mean dude. That's it. That's the story.
And you know what happens then. He got the shit beat out of him. But yet it is always entertaining. Always. Yep. It never fails. Like it didn't have the stakes and therefore heat of their prior matches, as this was more about setting up some personal between them and getting Brody some shine in a single spotlight, and then help him prep Darby for a main event run, because as we're going to talk about by the end of the show, clearly Darby is getting primed to head to the main event and go for that title again. But yeah, it's Brody King and it's Darby Allin, and their floor seems to be very good. Like, they have great chemistry. Every time these two dudes wrestle each other, they always do something crazy. They always do something memorable. And of course, Darby bumped his ass off in this match. No surprise. But special shout out to Brody for also getting crazy and taking that monster crash onto the fucking steel steps leading into the finish. Like, I think that's part of what makes them work so well. Like, obviously Darby is willing to do, whatever to make the guy he's in there look with, and especially Brody, but it also helps that Brody is able to come right back and not only give the punishment, but also take that big level of punishment to make it pop when Darby does get the win. So yeah, very good match, as you could always expect from these two. Highest of goods.
I mean, we saw their coffin match at Quake by the Lake, and we've seen all the other matches that they've done, but that Quake by the Lake match kind of reminded me of this match, because they were really, like, again, it's Darby Allin going out there facing off against another big guy, and he goes and gets himself killed, literally. And it's Darby's staple that he has to make himself look like he's on the verge of death when he goes out there and competes, especially if it's like one of his closest friends. Like, yeah, I'm really happy that we got more of a backstory with Brody, and it's just like, yes, now we know the real reason why he got into AEW. It wasn't just, oh, Darby got him in because they're friends. Like, no, he worked his ass off to get where he needed to be. But, with him and Darby, they have that history, they have that chemistry. They're very close friends, both being straight edge, both going to those punk rock shows, heavy metal shows, and whatnot. It's a brotherly love story. That's what it is. I think they were, from the looks of it, Brody was out there giving brotherly love to Darby, because I feel like they do this. He does this to him every fucking day when they hang out. I can imagine, like, oh, hey, Brody, come to my house. I need you to help me out with something. Brody comes in. He's like, hey, you needed help? What? I need you to throw me off the roof of my house. It's like, Darby, I have my son here. Like, are you kidding me? Throw me off the roof of my house. And he does it. Like, that's how truly unique of a friendship they have. Like, they do crazy shit together, and it's fun. And the shit that they done here, it's like, it's just your average, typical Brody Darby stuff. They're just having fun out there, killing each other, or Brody killing him. I just wanted one Gonzo bomb. Can I at least have that? And I didn't get that. Oh well, beggars can't be choosers. I'm gonna give the match a solid. It gets 3 3/4. It was super fun just to see Darby die again. and somehow pull off the win. That steel steps that Brody took, yeah, that shit was really fucking scary. Don't do that again.
Yeah, that was actually a crazy fucking spot.
That was fucking insane. Oh fuck, man. The Young Bucks defend the AEW World Tag Team titles against Private Party. It was 15 minutes and 50 seconds. Go ahead, TJ, ramble on.
Okay. So, as I've said for weeks now, AEW's latest mission statement, particularly for the original, seems to be you step up or you get stepped over. That's how the modern AEW is rocking. We're 5 years in, we got all this talent. You gotta get with the program. So Private Party were killed by Mox and the Murderers, with Mox directly pointing out that, in the 5 years since they beat the Bucks on the first Dynamite, they haven't progressed like we thought they would, like we said going in. And this was their chance to prove that we have, and that was the story. And with that, the Bucks, I'm gonna give it to them. The second half of the year, they've been excellent. Like every pay-per-view they've been on, they've been really good. They were really good at Grand Slam. Like the first half of the year, they had like the Sting match, and then shit was kind of rough. But ever since Blood and Guts All In, they've been cooking. Like I got to give that to them. And for Private Party, like it's like especially now we know the AEW pay-per-view pattern. Like we are now in the third, fourth hour of this show, and it does take a bit to keep a crowd fully engaged at that point. We're late in the game now, and I thought Private Party performed great in that regard. Like especially with Zay. Like I think Zay is turning out to be a really good babyface in peril. Like he's really good at grabbing sympathy from the people. I really enjoyed his babyface performance in this match. It made the people want to believe. It made me get behind them. Like I've been behind Private Party, but in the immediate moment of the match, that's what you want, to get behind those guys. And even if they didn't get the win, I do think the match served the purpose of making people want to see Private Party win. And follow-ups are admittedly one of AEW's weaknesses, but it seems as if there is a clear vision to hopefully continue to push them toward the top of the division, because they're definitely proving that they belong there. They've been having a great run since they've sort of reestablished themselves. They got the new theme. They got everything going on. So I hope we continue this with Private Party. I hope this doesn't end here, and I hope we do come around to them getting these titles, because I feel like they put on a very good performance here. Again, highest of goods.
Yeah, I don't think this is over. I don't think this is over by a long shot. I think we're going to end this quite possibly at Full Gear, or we could end it at World's End. I don't know, but there can't be a one more after the second encounter if they have another tag team title shot. I've been hearing a lot of people go out of their way saying that Bucks went out of their way to pull some backstage politic bullshit about how they didn't want to put the fucking Private Party over. Some people were upset in the back about how, it was supposed to be their time. They should have had this opportunity right here now. The big whole thing that they had the package with Amazing Red and everything else. Like, guys, stop complaining. Okay? Shit happens in wrestling. I get it. You all think the wrong team won. I think so too, but I'm not thinking like you guys. I'm thinking more of the future going forward, and that is they're going to get their time soon. This was just their time on pay-per-view. When have you ever seen Private Party on pay-per-view that doesn't have them teaming up with other people?
You're on like a casino thing. Yeah.
This is their very first tag team match on pay-per-view, facing off against the Young Bucks, a team that they beat 5 years ago in the AEW Tag Team Title Tournament, a team that they beat a couple of weeks ago on TV. Did you really sat there and think that they were going to beat them on pay-per-view? Not now, but soon. It's going to happen. Just wait. You think that everything has to happen on the very first encounter. Not all the time, people. We got to build something here. They've been doing the build, but also at the same time, Young Bucks are not there anymore since they're fucking part-time schedules. And they want to start acting like, oh, we make the big towns, brother. Like, come on, the fuck out of here. How can you make the big towns when you can't even sell out fucking arenas?
Big towns, brother. Oh, okay, he's out.
So everybody chill the fuck out. They're gonna get another shot. When that time comes, then they will get their coronation. It was nice to see Amazing Red in the package. It's nice to see all the House of Glory shit. And I really enjoyed the match. Yeah, the ending of it was upsetting because nobody was expecting the Young Bucks to retain. I mean, if you saw Jack Perry retain his TNT titles, did you guys actually think the Young Bucks were going to lose? Hell no. It's not even because of their... Go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
It's not even because of like their job positions or anything. So stop making it seem like they pulled the fucking creative control card and did not want to lose to Private Party. Maybe they have something else in mind that they're gonna build towards.
Yeah, they're just making you think that, like because they know that people out there think that about them. So they're gonna lean into that because they're fucking heels. But no, like this was Tony's decision.
Again, I kind of stopped giving the Young Bucks shit because one, it was like there's really no point in talking shit about them anymore. Two, they've actually been putting on way better stuff since All In. And three, this was one of them. It was still pretty good. Just wasn't a fan of the ending. It was still a good match. It was just nice to see a new tag team that wasn't FTR or the Acclaimed or any other team that we've seen the Young Bucks face. It was just nice to see Private Party finally get their due and be on pay-per-view. Be happy for that, people. Be happy for that. Don't get mad because they lost. Guess what? Everybody wins and loses. It's not the fucking end of the world. They're going to get their comeuppance. Wait. Be patient. The match is still getting a good. Jesus Christ, these fucking people are goddamn insane. Mark Briscoe taking on Chris Jericho for the Ring of Honor World Championship. That was 15 minutes and 20 seconds. Go ahead, TJ, Ramble on.
But yeah, we way too long. But yeah, we did have Top Flight in the crowd too. So they seem to be building up a little bit of a story with more teams, including like Leo and Top Flight. And so we're gonna see what happens with that. Like they set the table for a few interesting weeks of TV. But yeah, Chicken and Jericho, it was fine. The story going in was Jericho went too far. He brought up Jay. So you know that going into this match, he's probably going to do something that involves disrespecting Jay. And he does the Jay Driller, pisses Mark off. And Mark ends up hitting one back and gets the win. The emotional peak of that, oh, there they are. That's the first time I've seen them in that, actually. So Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce. But yeah, the emotional peak of this match hit great in the building. Like the crowd popped big for Mark kicking out of Jay Driller and then hitting on Jericho and all that. And the work leading up to it was fine. So honestly, for the Vortex Jericho, this is probably as good as you're gonna get. Because again, he always like works fine in his matches, but the problem is like since he's so stale and shit, like there's only so much heat that they're gonna be able to really get out of it. But they actually did get some good heat out of this one because it's Mark Briscoe, man. Mark Briscoe gonna bring that fire. He gonna make you get up. If you sitting on your seat, you sitting on your hands, and Mark Briscoe's out there wrestling, he's gonna make you get up. Like he's that type of wrestler. So yeah, I'll give it a good.
I hate that, sometimes we tell ourselves that Jericho needs to go away for a while, but we also forget how great of a wrestler this guy is.
One of the best ever.
He could still fucking go. And it's like, yeah, okay. Some people don't like the gimmick. Some people don't like him on TV a lot because he takes up a lot of people's time that should be given to other wrestlers that deserve it. I get it. But, this company was built off of the back of Chris Jericho. And I'm not hating on the fact that, like, oh, his whole thing is getting stale. Because trust me, it gets stale. It's been stale for a while. I don't hate the learning tree gimmick, but it's also like, yeah, I kind of do want you to go because you're kind of on my TV every week, and you need to let other people now take over your spot. You need to now be the mentor behind the scenes, helping out other young guys letting them know what they need to work on going forward, not taking their airtime and being with them. But honestly, like, Jesus, he turned it on here for this match alone. And I felt like I was watching a Ring of Honor Jericho match. And I'm like, this guy's never even wrestled in Ring of Honor. But he went out there with Mark and he put on one hell of a Ring of Honor World title match indeed. Honestly, I really thought Jericho was going to win this just so we could do the rivalry with him and Joe when he came back from doing Twisted Metal. And he would win the Ring of Honor World title at Final Battle against Jericho. And then we give Joe the world title again. Have a good reign with it. But no, that didn't turn out to be that way because we still have Mark hold on to it. So I'm guessing they're having something in store for Mark in the near future for Final Battle.
Yeah,
I guess we'll just have to wait and see, but it's still pretty fun to see the Ring of Honor World title defended on pay-per-view. But again, too many titles. It's annoying. I'm going to give this match a 3.5. And now we end with Jon Moxley taking on Bryan Danielson for the AEW World Championship. The longest match of the night being 27 minutes flat. TJ, for it is now time for us to officially bring this one home.
So, our main event, this match was the climax of the story that Bryan Danielson has been telling for the last year, which is the end of his run as a full-time wrestler. And yes, major congrats to the cheeky dickhead, Zack Sabre Jr., who in a lot of ways is the successor to Bryan Danielson as a great technical wrestler. So shout out to him, the new IWGP heavyweight champion. But yeah, there are obviously so many nooks and crannies and details I could cut through from point A to point B, but to make it as simple as I possibly can, the encapsulation of this all is that Bryan Danielson ran out of time. That's what happened in this match. For months, he fought through injuries, old and new. He fought through a different purpose, calling to him, all for the love of the game. Because obviously we saw over and over again this past year and even the year before that despite being the best pro wrestler that I personally have ever seen, that's not a bit when I say that, Bryan Danielson is the best pro wrestler I've ever seen in my life. But for all that, he couldn't consistently get it done at the highest level anymore. Like, yeah, sure, he could go out on a Dynamite or a Collision or a Rampage and tap out a rival. He could enter a tournament and blitz the field on pure knowledge and vet wherewithal. But on the highest levels, he lost to Will Ospreay. He lost at Anarchy in the Arena. Even All In, it took the most Herculean effort he could manage with the literal power of love in his family, front row, to beat Swerve. It took everything he had to beat Swerve. And honestly, you could say if they were to have that match again, Swerve would win. Dragon is the best ever. But he unfortunately was not equipped for the future. And while we as fans obviously love him and would struggle to accept that idea, Jon Moxley saw it for what it was. He knew. And that is how this match played out. Dragon has all the guts. He has all the ability. He has all the knowledge. But his body can't hang anymore. And Jon Moxley seizes on that. Even in his final comeback, he kicks out of the Death Rider at 1. He gets the loudest, clearest, most in sync, you're going to get your fucking head kicked in chant ever in AEW. The crowd locked the fuck in for it. He slapped Mox in defiance, and it led us all to believe that, like he had done so many times before, he was going to come back. He was going to come back. He's going to do it. It's Danielson. He does it every time. But then Mox kills that all in a snap. the final Death Rider. It's on the choke. And then a definitive soul-crushing end. And of all the reactions to this ending and to the final steps of this match, the one to best underscore the stark, shocking reality of it was Nigel McGuinness, Bryan's greatest rival. A man who, from the very second he stepped foot in AEW, slandered Dragon weekly. Clam digger Bryan Danielson, crying Bryan. He would talk all this shit about Bryan, all the way up to the point where he wrestled him in New York City again. I'm so glad I got to see that shit. But he threatened to party once it happened. He said, I'm going to party when Bryan Danielson is forced to retire. And then he watched it happen and had zero joy. He did not want to see that shit happen that way. He wanted his rival beaten and he wanted him humbled, but this went above and beyond that. And then, of course, you got the post-match with the Wheeler Yuta turn. And well, let me give my ultimate rating first. This is my match of the night. It's the highest of bars, just under a GOAT. But we got Wheeler turning, and the BCC kill Dragon off until they get run off by DG, Hook, Orange, and Darby. And Jeff Jarrett was out there. But I'm gonna focus on the younger guys. Again, similar to Kyle, I had an affinity for Wheeler Yuta being, the true son of the dragon that would fight his fight after he was gone. I thought they were really going to do that, and I really liked the idea of that. Like, he passed them the cattle mutilation. He was using the Busaiku knee. Like, I wanted that. But, again, AEW is an evil company now, so I guess I'll let them cook. What this post-match does, though, is it sets the table in a way that is emblematic of who wrestlers like Bryan Danielson are. And trust me when I say there are not many. And in terms of what I'm talking about, there might be only Mick Foley and Terry Funk. Because the hero dies in gruesome, non-celebratory fashion. The villains end this chapter strong as ever, ready to rule. And all we have in front of them are this new slate of guys that we have to put our hopes behind and that they can fill his shoes. I wanted Bryan Danielson to go out in a blaze of glory and be celebrated the way Sting was. Because, do I need to say it again? He's the best ever. But I can also step back and appreciate that this is more than likely the way he wanted to go out. Like, the law of the business and of the time that Bryan is from and the time that came before him is that you try to leave the place better than what you found it in. And what Bryan did here is he left us villains, and not wink villains that wink at the camera and shit. I'm talking real villains, people you got hate for. Like, people watched the end of that pay-per-view and hated Jon Moxley and hated Claudio Castagnoli and hated Wheeler Yuta. That's what you need in wrestling, real villains. And that's something I honestly think the modern wrestling fan is a little uncomfortable with in many ways. That's another discussion for another time. But what it also set up was the heroes to fight them. Like I said, DG, Hook, Orange, Darby. I think those are all guys that are coming for Jon Moxley in the coming weeks and months to set up this future next chapter of the story of Jon Moxley. Like he said, Bryan Danielson is not fit to do this anymore. And he proved it. He proved himself right tonight. So now it's on me. I am the one that has to take this into the future. And now we're going to see the second part of that with the younger guys stepping up. And all of that was laid bare due to the sacrifice, more or less, of Bryan Danielson, which is exactly how he would want to go on this program. So, I mean, again, I could go on forever about Danielson, but we know it's not the end. He will be back sometime. We don't know when, but sometime. But yeah, highest the bars for this.
All right, so this was a hard one for me to talk about. I even tried to write this shit down, and that didn't even work, so I deleted it. I was like, I shouldn't be reading a script of what I wrote it's just come off the top of my head about how I feel about this match, but it's overall it's just like my whole thing with Danielson is like, first of all, just thank you for everything that you've contributed into this business. Thank you for breaking your bones, for bleeding buckets of blood, for losing teeth, for going out there even when you were at 50% to still wrestle just to give people their money's worth. Thank you for putting on one of the best dream matches ever. Thank you for competing in tournaments and all that shit. You've done everything that you could do for now in this business. But now it is time for you to put your boots in your closet, for you're not going to hang them up. It is time for you to put those boots away. Don't look at them for a while. Go take care of your body. Go get your surgeries. Go do what you got to do to get yourself physically and mentally back in shape. Go back, be a father. Go back, be a husband. Grow a farm. Read some books. I've been hearing that you've been doing a lot of book reading. So, yeah, keep doing that. Keep trying to, grow your mind more. But I know sooner or later you will be coming back and you will make that grand return. So, yeah, it was the final countdown for now. But that doesn't mean it was technically over. Your full-time position in All Elite Wrestling is over. You're not technically retired from professional wrestling because you're still going to be showing up to work. You still got to work behind the scenes. You still got to help the people create the shows. So I get it. I understand what you're trying to do. You're trying to fulfill a purpose. You fulfilled it, but was anyone else even happy with how you fulfilled this purpose, how you wanted to go out? I'm not mad because I know overall there's still always a comeback. People could always say that they're retired and then they always fucking come back because they love this shit so much. It's a fucking drug. It's a drug. It's a drug that's so addicting that you just can't turn away from it. I completely and fully understand what the purpose is for Danielson at this moment. It's not about the business anymore. I mean, yes, the ending was controversial. I wasn't a big fan of how they did it. I kind of wanted to see Danielson compete at the Tokyo Dome one more time, and I kind of wanted to see him at Wrestle Dynasty. I kind of wanted to see him hold on to the title for maybe a little longer until we found someone that was worthy enough to actually beat him. That's not named Jon Moxley, who's had that title more times than ever before. I was thinking of a young guy at least. Like an opportunity to give a new guy a chance to solidify his legacy and being the one to end the full-time professional wrestling career of Bryan Danielson. But it had to be fucking Moxley. I'm not hating Moxley's work ethic. I've been liking what I've been seeing so far, but this was too quick. The moment that happened, everybody was in silence. Nobody knew how to react. Nobody knew how to take this. There were people in the crowd fucking crying. Excalibur fucking cried. Nigel McGuinness was literally about to break character and cry himself. But he had to literally stop that because he even knew. I don't even think he expected this. I think he kind of wanted to continue talking shit about Danielson until he knew when the time was right for it to be officially over. By the way, the Yankees won. Good shit.
Oh yeah, Yankees won. Yeah, they won a few minutes ago, but yeah, shout out Yankees.
I could literally say that this whole thing sold me because overall, I sit here and rewatch this again and again multiple times. And I can tell myself, thank you, Bryan Danielson, but I'm not saying goodbye, Bryan Danielson, because he's never saying goodbye to us people. It's more of a see you later. I'll be back soon, but I won't be back full time. I'll be back sporadically when you need me. When you need me to play the final countdown, when you need Europe and all that shit. When you need another yes chant, when the show sucks, I'll be there. Just when I'm needed. But I'll be behind the scenes managing the shows. The match, the ending. What the fuck? I feel like this is a troll at this point. What the hell?
Dave. I'm gonna cry myself to sleep. I died. Dave. That's how I felt the other night.
I don't think this is Dave.
That's gotta be Dave.
Match is going to get it's going to get a bars. It is going to get a bars. I think the whole thing with the stipulation sold it because the crowd sold in on it. And then we went back to the murder. First of all, I'm not a big fan of how Yuta went back to being with Moxley and the boys. I thought we were going to do something with that, but then, we just had to confuse the people, didn't you? Motherfuckers, man. Oh my God. They did it, and then they gave him the bag, and then he's like, kill him. And I'm like, no. And then they did it, and I'm like, this is how they're ending the show. Oh my God. This is insane. It ended very, very, very horrific. It really looked like a snuff film. Genuinely looked like a snuff film, to the point where Tony Khan actually went with Danielson to the hospital. He was not at the media scrum. The media scrum ended within 20 minutes. Yep. It was like right when I need to remind people, because I'm gonna put the ticker on right now. This ended in a triple threat tie, which was Katie, Young Wolf, and the Great One.
Indeed.
Had a simulation. Katie became the 5-time Ramblemania heavyweight champion, or 6-time. I don't remember. I don't keep count anymore.
I think it's 6. I think she has 6.
I don't keep count anymore.
Yeah.
So, yes, that has been the official outcome of the whole thing. Katie is now the champion. And I'll give the match 4.5. It was fucking fun. I liked all the murder for the end. Now, final match of the night, worst match of the night, final grade for the show, and we could bring it home.
My match of the night, again, the main event. The emotional weight of it, I think, is so strong that I can't, in good conscience, go with anything else really. But I mean, again, this was a super strong show across the board. Like AEW in general, just their pay-per-views are their strongest suit. They don't miss in that regard. But yeah, that's my match of the night. My worst match of the night. There were no bad matches on the show. Nothing was bad. If I had to give a worst, I'd give it to Briscoe and Jericho. But not even because I have anything against it, really. Like, even like, I'm been, get Jericho out of here. Even that, like, it was a good match. It's just, all the other matches I thought were better. So whatever. It's just a process of elimination thing. My overall grade for the show, I'm gonna give it an A-. Again, I think AEW, again, like I said, the pay-per-views are the most consistent thing. And I do think something that AEW has generally gotten better at this year is the pacing. Because yes, there's still long shows, still like 4+ hours, but at this point, they generally roll tighter. We got like 8 to 9 matches or something like that usually, and we cook through. We usually get out, if not before 12, by 12 or a little bit after 12. Like, we're not going crazy, damn near 4.5 or 4+ everything like that. We're cutting it around 4, which I think at this point, if you've been watching AEW, if you're in AEW, you should expect that at this point. So I think we're at a good spot with their pay-per-view pacing. So yeah, I'm gonna give it an A-. I thought this was a very good show. Another boon to what has been an excellent year for them on pay-per-view. Excellent year for them on pay-per-view.
So. Yes. Young Wolf, get the hell out of my head. That's literally what I was like thinking of right there. Yeah, best match of the night for me, it was the triple threat for the international title. Literally the match that basically got everybody out of their fucking seats, went wild and nuts, and then, just all over the place. The betrayal was picture perfect because now we could start the rivalry between Will Ospreay and the entire Don Callis family going forward. And yeah, worst match of the night. I'm not even I wouldn't even say also it was a bad match, but it was a match that didn't really need to be on the card because it was more of a TV and it had angles going forward to it. And it kind of, the returns and shit did kind of overshadow the match. And that was the TNT title. So yeah. Overall, I like this whole show delivered on all expectations. Like, this is the second Wrestle Dream that we had. I like the fact that we still kept the Inoki thing still alive and kicking. We had his grandson make his appearance. So it was really nice, touching moment that we still keep that tradition alive, paying homage to Inoki. I'm really happy for that. I will give the show, it gets a solid A. I really enjoyed the hell out of it. Great event for 2024. Next one will be Full Gear, but more importantly, the next championship defense will be in 2 weeks' time, October 26th, 2024. TNA Bound for Glory. Following that will be Full Gear. And then the last WWE Premium Live event that we will be putting the championship on the line for will be War Games. More importantly, stay tuned for all the stuff that we got coming up during the week, especially tomorrow's Come Spooky TV. We will be watching episodes of Buffy the Vampire Slayer, Dynamite Deep Dive Live, Total Nonstop Ramble of Honor. This is Rampage, baby, and the Collision Course and Shotgun Saturday Night Gaming Edition taking place throughout all next week. And then next Sunday, Come Spooky TV will be Animate Martin Mystery. So it will be fun throughout that whole week. Stick around for that. But it looks like there has been enough talk here on the Ramblemania show, for it is time for us to officially bring it home here. Great one, for it is now time for you to tell all the Ramblemaniacs and all the BC aliens where to find us.
Indeed, you already know where to find us. Find us on Instagram at Ramblemania Show, at Banter Club Podcast. Find us on Twitter at Ramblemania, Facebook.com/Ramblemania Show. Also find a group there, Ramblemania Show's Banter Club, we any other rest of the podcast. Everybody be associated with, post all that goings on, all that's going down, far as audio. Apple Podcasts, Spotify, everywhere podcasts found, search Ramblemania Show or Banter Club. As far as visuals, twitch.tv/Ramblemania Show. We're on Spotify video, we're on YouTube. Search Ramblemania Show or Banter Club. We can get here, like the videos, click subscribe, click the bell, so that when the new content drops, it goes straight to you. As far as me personally, find me on Instagram at TJ the Great One. That's TJ the GR, the number 8, the number 1. And find me on Twitter at TJ the Great. That's TJ the GR, the number 8. It is as simple as that.
TJ the Great. TJ the Great. As always, you can follow me on Instagram at iZombie, IZOMB, IIES. Thank you for everyone watching the review here tonight. Thank you for joining us on the chat. We will see you all tomorrow on Twitch for Come Spooky TV. But for TJ the Great, I'm Hazel the iZombie. This has been our AEW Wrestle Dream review here live on the Ramblemania Show. We want to wish all of you out there A-point and goodies. You're A2 fucking sweet.
Back in style on them, and a good fight and a good night. Guns up.
Now go home and smoke some more crack.